Hello, Wrestfriends.
Hi, Wrestfriends.
Checking, testing audio levels. I don't know how my headphones today, so very professional this morning.
I mean, you look professional at
Thank you,
least.
best friend.
You're
I'm ready to
welcome.
go to work.
Yeah, you are. You keep saying, like, I'm so excited. I'm ready.
I am all in for this review today.
Period.
Hey guys, what's up? My name is Edie.
And my name is Teddy.
And you are listening to the Wrestfriends podcast, or you are watching the Wrestfriends podcast, depending on what your cup of tea is. We have both options available.
Mhm.
So if you can join us and you can chat with us, we are super excited. We're gonna have a great time today.
Yeah,
It was a great pay-per-view, I think,
I agree.
and it's only setting up 2 weeks from now another great pay-per-view in All Out, and we're gonna be there.
You just made me panic just a little bit. I was like, oh, wait, that's
You're
so
like,
true.
wait a minute.
We are going to be there.
We're gonna be there, and man, I'm so excited. I feel like people get tired of me saying I'm so excited or it was great, but I mean I'll add more words to my vocabulary of like it was fantastic, you know?
Right. The point is that you're excited, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're already starting off the show with Eddie James saying, "Hi, are you guys all out in Chicago?" Which I'm sure, are you guys going to all out? Yes, we are. And we don't have our tickets yet,
No, we
which
don't.
is not new for us. We always get good deals, guys. We get good deals, we get good seats,
Yeah,
and that's what matters.
exactly.
Man, best friend, overall thoughts about last night?
Honestly, I thought it was
Yeah.
better than what I was expecting.
Okay.
Not that I was expecting for the pay-per-view to be bad at all.
Yeah.
But I also didn't have any high expectations, and I really actually enjoyed watching the pay-per-view.
Oh man, I also kind of like you, it didn't really have any set expectations. I didn't know if it was going to be an amazing pay-per-view, if it was just going to be kind of like last year,
Right.
where we were kind of like, it's okay.
Mhm.
It's always a good pay-per-view.
Mhm.
But man, I was like, this is delivering for me. And AEW always does that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what anybody has to say of like, oh man, whatever's happening with the storylines, whatever's happening with the matches, the pay-per-views always deliver.
Yeah.
And that's something that we can always say about AEW. So I'm ready to start talking about these matches.
Yeah, me too.
So let's start off with the very first one. Let's get the banners together. First things first, we're going to talk about the title versus career match for the AEW World Championship, Swerve Strickland versus Bryan Danielson. And I was literally holding my breath throughout this whole match because I went into it thinking that Swerve was going to keep that championship.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Really?
I really didn't. I really, really, really had no idea. I
Yeah.
felt like it could have gone both ways.
Yeah.
I was like, it would be a very good storyline if like Danielson lost. Everyone would be so heartbroken. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? People would have had us like, they would have had us like, okay, so is he really retiring? Is he really done?
Yeah.
But then again, I was like, how are they gonna have Danielson lose?
Yeah.
So but I really did not know. And it was, I don't know. It was honestly better though. It was good. The expectation, the outcome,
Yeah,
was very, very good. I really enjoyed that match.
I just didn't know what direction they were going to go to if Danielson kept that title, because we know that he's going to be a part-timer, and he has been announcing that it's the end of his career. You know, he's coming to a point where he's going to stop wrestling as much or stop wrestling altogether.
Right.
So that made me think, I'm like, okay, if you're gonna have a part-time champion, it just doesn't make sense when you have a guy like Swerve who's had fantastic matches before, and he's really been proving himself as a champion in
Yeah.
the face of AEW. So I just didn't see where the storyline was going to be going.
Yeah.
But man, as soon as I saw Brie there, I said, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, which let me put up this picture, because yes, Bryan Danielson ended up winning the championship, but man, just it was so beautiful. Everything was so beautiful, best friend.
It was.
Not only talking about Bree's beauty, because shout outs to Bree. She
Yes.
always looks good.
Yes.
And then you had Birdie and you had Buddy, and oh my goodness.
So wholesome.
It was so freaking cute.
So fucking wholesome. Like, and that still didn't tell me, oh, that he's gonna win though.
Yeah.
I was like, anything could happen. They could be teasing us right now. But I don't know, like having your family there,
Yeah.
and then during the type of match that they were having too.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what Brie and the kids felt
What they
like.
were feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, throughout the whole thing, we know Swerve made Birdie cry,
Mhm.
right?
Tears
But
also
I would have
rude.
cried too if my dad would have get beat
Beat
up like
up,
that.
exactly. But that was bleeding. Oh my goodness, man. What a great moment for him.
Yes.
Bryan Danielson really deserved a moment like that. The career that he's had, of course, he's going to go down as one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
And now that he's champion, I know Nigel's going after him, which we will get to later.
That's a whole other
Yes, that's a whole other conversation, a whole different match.
Yeah.
But I don't know what they're going to do with Bryan Danielson now as champion. Like, is he going to be fighting champion, fighting part-time champion? What's the schedule? I need to know the schedule.
You know, something that I thought was a little funny was that in the press scrum, Dave Meltzer was trying to convince Birdie, like, don't you want to go to Japan or like, you know, travel to all these new places just so that she can let her dad keep wrestling.
Yeah.
And I'm just in my head like, I don't know, if I was Birdie, I'd be like, no, my dad's not wrestling anymore.
Same. I'd be like, I done told y'all that he was done this year. Okay, so if you don't listen to me, now I'm gonna have a fit. I did see pictures of the scrum where Brady's just sitting there.
She was so shy. She was so shy.
I love her. It's crazy because like we've seen into their life a lot.
Yes.
I think this is one of the wrestling families, much like Miz and Maurice, that we've very much seen what goes on behind the scenes, and we've watched these kids grow up.
Yes.
So total divas, total bellas. It's just been a crazy experience to now see. You were talking about the outfit. Yeah. Birdie looked adorable.
I love.
Oh my god,
outfit.
She's so stylish.
Her matching beanie.
Yeah,
beanie. With her dress and her calcetas, the matching calcetas. That's right.
That's gonna be my fit. I'm gonna try to find that for All Out.
So, honestly, that would look so. First of all, that's your color. So cute.
Love that. Oh my goodness, Scott, thank you so much for joining us. He says good morning / afternoon, Wrestfriends.
Hello.
Troy says I'm up. I'm ready to talk about Zack Sabre Jr. Troy, we will get there. Oh my goodness,
I love you guys so much.
Out of 1 out of 10, Rest Friend, where would you rank this match in the pay-per-view?
I'm gonna say 9.
Okay. That's great.
Okay, first of all, also I'm the type of person that the littlest things make me so excited and so happy. So when Hangman came out, that little Hangman bit to me,
bit, yeah,
I was like, this is a story.
He said, this is what it was missing.
This is
Hangman.
He came out angry, and they just a whole bunch of security just came and got him out of there. And I was like, that's it. But I get it.
Yeah.
He had a plan. It didn't fucking work, whatever the fuck he was planning to do, right? But still, that was such a great little moment for me. Yeah. I was like, amazing. But yeah, I want to say the match was a 9 out of 10. If I would have been there in person, it probably would have been a 10.
Oh, wow.
And let me say something real quick, because I was thinking about this yesterday. I don't know if everyone remembers last year for All Out, I was barricade, right?
Yes, yeah, that's right. You were like right there, yeah.
Yes, we were ringside, Sergio and we were. Danielson's and Ricky Stark's match was one of my favorite matches because I don't know if other people will understand what I'm trying to say, but you can feel Danielson's presence. Oh yeah, just by being there. Like seriously, him wrestling, you can just feel how genuine that man is, how much he loves wrestling, and how much he appreciates the fans. Because just a simple hand slap that he gave us when he was leaving, I felt it. I was like, oh, that's a great man. So I don't know, I feel like his presence alone in wrestling and just his work in wrestling it gives his matches a 10.
And his resume by itself is just incredible. I'm with you on that. Man, that match was so great. It is. And it's one that's crazy, like I said, because I went into it with that expectation of like, I think Swerve is winning. Didn't take away from the fact that they were going to have a great match. Danielson winning and having this moment did make it a 10 for me. Yeah. If Swerve would have kept the title, still probably would have been a 10. Yeah. It had everything. Yes. Like it had the drama of like you would go ringside and, you know, they would go to Brie and the kids were so excited. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Shout out to the people who were right next to her, because it couldn't have been me. Couldn't have been me. Okay. I'm saying that right now. I would have been like, oh my God. I would have dropped something. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Brie.
I I'm pretty sure you would have been the good girl best friend.
I mean, I would hope, but who knows, best friend? I was not in that situation.
I think also the momentum that Danielson got right after, you know how there was a while where Swerve was just beating him up and beating him up, and you were like, okay, they made you feel like, okay, this is it.
This is it, yeah.
But once Danielson got the momentum back, that's when the match for me went, ooh, I was like, damn,
over, yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful match, beautiful story. I don't want to see anyone complain about AEW and what they
do and don't do.
That match alone, Danielson gave us. Yeah. Danielson and Swerve,
and it didn't.
I'm gonna give
absolutely
Swerve as well.
Yeah, and it didn't take anything away from Swerve, because now he's got this extensive resume that he can put on bangers. He can main events.
He can carry a company as a champ.
Exactly. He represents himself well and represents the company. So Swerve 10 out of 10, Danielson 10 out of 10. And I want to talk to you about where this is going in terms of not even Swerve and Danielson. I want to talk about Brie, okay? And and Nikki.
Nikki, let's bring the Bellas.
Let's talk about this.
Even though they won't be the Bellas.
I know. When I was writing in my notes, I was like, "Oh my God, it's Brie Bella!" And I said, "Wait, it's Brie Garcia. I have to respect." So Nikki and Brie, their Twitter or their ex, they said, "What a moment! I live for these moments in pro wrestling." #all-in. I would have never in a million years thought I would see the day where these women would talk about the company, would be inside the company. Like I said, I did not hear in commentary if they said that's Brie Garcia or if they said that's Danielson's wife. We don't. I mean, I don't know. Somebody confirm or deny for me, please, in the comments. But earlier in the night, which I missed this promo, but she had an interview with Renee. Like really quickly, did you watch that?
I watched the clip on Twitter.
Okay, how did it go? How
okay,
was it?
Okay, what I saw for me was like, oh, holy shit! Like to me, we have to see Nikki soon in there too, and that's gonna be that was a soft. To me, that was a little soft launch for sure. To me, that was a little soft launch.
Yeah,
that's what I got out of that clip.
I would hope that the days of the Garcia twins, the wrestling days, are not gone.
Yeah.
I would love to see them. Of course, we always talk about the Royal Rumble. I think they're just fantastic. I would love to see them have one more.
Mercedes did say that her and Britt and like the rest of the women's locker room are cooking up some really big things.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine what they're even
thinking
and talking about and
crazy stuff.
I'm nervous.
Scott saying Swerve got himself a nice new contract with lots of zeros on the end. I'm sure he did, as he should. Yeah. Tony put a lot of responsibility on him when he gave him that championship, when Swerve earned that championship. And Swerve definitely proved himself. I don't see him having the storylines and having the success like in an indie company if he went on an indie run right now. I'm not saying that he couldn't. Yeah. I'm just saying, why would you if you are in AEW right now? It doesn't make any sense. So yeah. I only heard them say Brie. Okay. Thanks for the confirmation. Yeah. I'm ready for the Garcia twins. Why would oh my
I know
God.
You are, Wrestfriend.
I
know you are.
I almost passed out yesterday.
Had it been Nikki there too,
you would have passed out. God. I love Brie, but Nikki's my girl, okay? I will ride at dawn for Nikki and Brie. But man. And you know what? Out of the people that I still need to take a picture with from the Blackpool Combat Club, Mox is up there, but Danielson is also up there. Too. I still need a picture with Danielson. Yeah. And then once I get that picture with Danielson, I'm going to put that one together with my Bella Twins one.
You are so cute.
Oh my goodness. It was just so great. Okay, let's move on to the next match. What do we have here? We have oh my goodness, the women's match of timeless Toni Storm and the glamour Mariah May. Wrestfriend, going into this, were you excited for this match? Because they had a lot of storyline.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Mariah May and Toni Storm have had one of, if not the best story in AEW right now.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, they're both crazy. You gotta be crazy in order to deliver what they've been delivering these past few months.
Yeah.
And beautiful. Everything about it. Honestly, I'm a huge fan. I know a lot of people have I know it's not the majority, but I know there's people that haven't really been huge fans of Toni, timeless Toni, and that gimmick. But what is there not to like?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I love the craziness that was coming from both of them. I also wasn't 100% sure what was going to be the outcome, but at the same time, I felt like Mariah May had to win. She had to win that.
Shout out to Tiff, says this has been my favorite storyline. Absolutely agree. And Russ friend, I am right there with you, thinking that this is probably the best storyline that AEW has put on this year. Maybe storyline in wrestling. I know the Bloodline has a lot going on, and you can argue the Bloodline has a good storyline, but it's because this was great.
It's not only the story, but it's the way that Mariah and Tony gave us a little. There, it was after a movie, right? This version was from a movie. For us, it was like a whole novela.
Yes,
beautiful. You can't give Mexicanas a novela and us be like,
I know, he's like, we don't like that.
We loved it.
We love the drama, man. Mariah, like, we knew that she could go, right? She had her stardom days, and the footage that I was just watching of her, it was incredible. And she was going like 100 matches, 200 matches a year, something crazy number like that.
Yeah.
And she was putting in that work. So when she came into AEW and they paired her with Tony, I was like, okay, I wonder where this is going to go, because I didn't want her to be paired off and then get lost.
Yeah.
I really thought she was going to have a fantastic run as a singles competitor, but they, like, the way that they like loved each other in like oh my god, like, I'm obsessed, but also like, she's my mentor and I look up to her, and at the end of the day, not really, because I'm better than you type of thing. Like, that was crazy. And not to say like because they both have different styles of wrestling, right? But also I guess kind of similar, because Tony is very rough in that way, but Mariah just has something that's different.
And you don't think that she has that in her.
Yes.
You think she's a little Barbie.
Yes.
Just cute and, hot, whatever. I had no idea that she had all of that in her.
Yeah.
And okay, keep going, Restaurant.
No. I know. I'm right there with you, Restaurant. I totally agree. It's just like the element of surprise that you're just like, she is so deadly in a way that is just so awesome to see in the ring.
Yeah.
Because even when we saw her turn on Tony, oh, now I see what you said.
There's a little nag.
When she first turned on Tony, I was just not expecting it. Like, we knew it was going to happen. And it's kind of like the Luchasaurus Christian thing that's going on, which we'll talk about later. But when Mariah was the first to swing, I was like, there's no way this is happening right now.
No, I know.
And it was so bloody.
Beautiful.
Crazy. I know you love your blood, friend. Talk to me about that. Like, when she turned, what was going through your head?
I mean, first of all, I didn't, like you said, I didn't see the turn coming just yet at that point.
Yeah.
So it happened and you're like,
just like, oh my goodness.
They do all of that. Like, she beat the living crap out of
her.
And that was so, oh my God. That was so beautiful to me, Rest Friend. Yeah. Beautiful. And again, the whole storyline, to me, it's like the little things, because when Mariah first came out, basically with Tony's gear, like cosplaying her while they were still together.
That was cool.
That was cool as fuck to me. And to me, that was the first sign that I was like, Mariah's gonna fucking turn on her, obviously. Yeah. And this to me is showing like she can be Tony or better, storyline wise. I'm not saying that Mariah May is better than Tony. Storyline wise, that's where I knew like, okay, she's gonna come off as, I can, look at me. Yeah. I can do what you do and probably better. Beautiful storyline. Like I said, I love it so much. I can't wait to see what they continue doing.
Yeah.
I love to see Mariah as a champ. No, this is a storyline that I'm really, 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 really excited that it went the way that it did.
You know what's interesting? Mariah won the Owen Hart tournament, and she got that championship, right? She has been the only one who we've seen carry that title after the tournament, which is crazy, because I think Willow got it for like one or two times afterwards, but Mariah has got it consistently. And I'm just like, this is what we wanted. This is what we were talking about, of like letting those women, that's an accomplishment that they got. Let them wear that championship. But I get it. Now there's a lot of championships.
Yes, there is, right?
There's a lot. I get it. I see what the issue is. But I don't have a problem with that one. I was like, man, there's a lot of belts on this card tonight.
Yeah. I mean, also a lot of new champs.
Yes.
So if maybe that's also what made you realize, like, holy shit.
I was like, oh my God.
A lot of champions.
I was like, people are coming out here. My dad was very confused. in this next match that we're going to talk about Mercedes and Britt, because Camille came out with or she helped with the 2 titles, but that was like, what is going on here?
Yeah,
because he didn't know Camille, and then he also forgot that Mercedes had 2 championships. So I was like, those are Mercedes, and he's like, both of them, and I'm like, yes. I was like, one is not from here, but it's still here.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get to some of these comments first about the women's match. Tiffany again has said, this has been one of my favorite storylines. Scott says it was my favorite match on the card, which it was probably my favorite match on the card too. It's definitely, if not number 2.
Okay, yeah.
Because I think the casino one is my favorite one.
Really?
Just because just there was so much happening. Tiffany says it's been nice for the women to get a long story build up. And I agree.
Yeah.
It just adds to the suspense. And this is what we've been wanting, because sometimes we talk about AEW and we say there's a lot of wrestling, which is great, but then they don't really do anything with it. So we're like, okay, we're just having a bunch of matches. So to get a storyline is nice. What's up, party peoples? We need Wrestling Cheesemate to get through this work. Thanks.
The picture.
Shout outs to you. 10 out of 10.
You're welcome.
Tiff says it's been nice to see the women have a long story built up. Yeah, it really has. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this match. It was great. The entrance alone. These entrances were delivering, Rust Friend.
Yeah.
I
have a couple notes about the entrances as well.
Pull them up, Rust Friend. Fantastic. Look at the little corgis, first of all.
I know. That is so cute. Okay, so honestly, for a second, I was like, is Mercedes like trying to show love to Cody Rhodes? Like, it's Cody Rhodes in my head all the time, because I saw her and I was like, Cody Rhodes. Like,
no, I get you, Rust Friend.
But no, beautiful gear.
It's so funny. The amount of times we think about Cody Rhodes throughout the day is probably like a lot.
I'm like, why am I thinking about Cody Rhodes? Well, Mercedes Moné is coming out. We're gonna have a women's match.
Not during the women's match.
But look at her, like her gear. I'm like, maybe it could be a little representation of Cody. But
then MJF was definitely also trying to give Cody.
Right. Oh no, MJF was definitely more obvious, right?
No, everyone was definitely repping the US of A, during for their gear. It was all red, white, and blue. But then I'm like, guys, they're also red, white, and blue.
Red, white, and blue. We're the same but different. So I don't understand why there's so much hate.
It's the same colors, guys. It's the same colors. So yeah, what did you think about this match? Because let me tell you, social media is not a fan.
Yeah, I know.
Social media is not liking this. If you want to go research for yourselves, guys, you can go do that and see what people are saying. I'm not going to repeat it. We're just going to give our thoughts on the match. I thought it was fine.
I thought it was fine too.
Okay, wonderful.
I mean, I don't have any complaints. That's for sure.
I don't have any complaints either. I see some of the things that people were saying as in like, yeah, it did seem kind of rough. Some of it was kind of, for me, it was slow in the way it built up. Yes, I thought Mercedes had momentum. Yes, I thought Britt had momentum. So it was just kind of like, I don't know. It is what it wasn't my favorite match of the night.
Right.
I've seen them have better matches with other people.
Right.
I also thought the end of the match was kind of weird, because Britt had just put on like such good defense that for Mercedes to just put her one move and then win, I was like, I don't know about that.
So that, sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Wrestfriends. You finish.
No, I was thinking about the bank statement. I was like, I need a submission, because that finishes, maybe it's the finisher that's not working for me.
And that's totally fine, Wrestfriend. Because I agree with you. I don't hate the finisher.
Yeah.
But to me, it wasn't something to finish off Britt Baker. And that, the only little complaint I do have about that match is that ending just made it seem like that match could have just been on Dynamite.
Yes.
The way it ended.
Yeah.
Because I don't care that Mercedes won.
Yeah.
It's the way that it ended. Yeah. To me, it made it a little like, but this could have just been on Dynamite.
Yeah.
They've had such great promos, and especially Britt. Like, she has had the right. She knows what to say. She has said the most iconic, craziest shit. and then the match was like compared to the build up. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? But I also feel like the reason why a lot of people didn't like it is Britt Baker, Mercedes Moné are two women in AEW that a lot of people have different views on.
Mhm.
They both have their good
They're
amount
very
of people that don't like them,
they're very
unfortunately.
strong personalities, and
Yes.
it's some people do find it hard to pick one or to get behind one. Not us.
No,
We love all the women.
we love the women unless they give us a reason
Yeah.
not to, you know, like something controversial and you know if
Mhm.
they're nasty. But we support all the women,
Mhm.
and we want to see them all shine on there.
Mhm.
But I really do feel like that's one of the reasons why a lot of people didn't like it. I saw a couple bad things on Twitter as well that
Mhm.
people were saying, and I really do think it's that. I think it's the fact that so a lot of people don't like Britt Baker and a lot of people don't like Mercedes.
Mhm. And having them both in the ring together, and this is not anything about their abilities, because like I said, I think they've had better matches with other people,
Yes.
but it kind of fell flat for me, and that's
Yeah.
okay. Not
Yeah.
every match is gonna hit for you.
Yeah.
I would love to see Mercedes bring back her submission as a finisher.
Okay.
It's just I love that back statement.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And I always think about that last one she pulled on Bailey at, what was it? The NXT pay-per-view where she won the championship.
Where Bailey
Or
won?
was it Bailey who won?
Because
Was
if you're
it?
talking about Brooklyn, Bailey
Oh
won.
yeah, Brooklyn.
Okay.
So I'm thinking about when she put her in that back statement, and then Bailey was reaching, and then she goes back, and then she does it, which Britt did it this time.
Yeah.
Which I was like, oh my god, it makes it so much more. I don't even know what the word is. It delivers.
It gives a momentum. Like
Yes.
yeah. No, I know what you're trying to say.
That you're
Like,
just like the build up.
yeah, the
Yeah.
build up. There you
That
go.
really gives. But you're like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Who's gonna tap at what time? It felt kind of like when people get rolled up, and you're just like, ah, man.
Yeah. As a fan, I feel like if there's anything that this match has shown me is
Mhm.
that I think, well, this match and this little feud,
Mhm.
I think Britt Baker and Mercedes Moné would be better off working together.
Yes.
They're both very
I need a
good
heel
heels.
faction.
Exactly. They're both very good heels. They know how to talk their shit.
Mhm.
They know what to say. Imagine them together
That would be
against
unstoppable.
actual baby faces, because I couldn't believe either of them were a baby face.
Absolutely
To me, they were
not.
both heels.
Absolutely not. And it's not like a Becky Lynch situation where people were like, oh, we want Becky to be booed,
Yeah,
but no, she
no.
deserves it. No, like these women have already got their big moments to say. They were great champions. I think a issue that people have with Mercedes is like she came in and she went straight for the title shot. We hadn't seen her wrestle.
Yeah.
And mind you, her resume speaks for herself. I totally understand that. I think I did write notes for this one. Yeah, again, this just the ending just kind of threw me off.
Yeah.
With Mercedes, it feels like for me, I've been waiting for her to have her big moment.
Okay.
And yes, I know she's won the TBS championship and she's won that New Japan Strong Women's Championship, but it still feels like I'm not, because I was rooting for the other women she beat, but I love Mercedes.
Yeah.
But it just feels like in those matches, she might have been like outshined a little bit, or she wasn't the favorable one to win, because I always think about her match with Stephanie Vaquer, and I'm just like, man, Stephanie really killed it in that match. And that also says a lot about Mercedes. And she also says a lot about Mercedes, because there's two women in that match.
Yeah.
Same thing with Willow. I was like, man, Willow did such a great job. And again, it says a lot about Mercedes, because you need someone in that match to also hold it down.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Every time you talk, you inspire me to think deeper.
And
because my other thing with Mercedes too, I think first of all, I don't think this is gonna last forever. I think
no, absolutely not.
I think Mercedes is gonna find.
I think she
her
her stride.
Yes. Yeah. And one of these days, everyone's gonna be crazy about her again.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that she came in and it felt like everything happened so fast, because like you said, right away she got the title shot, like the title opportunity, and I feel like everything happened so fast because she is a star.
Yeah.
I guess everyone felt like she's a star, she's gonna come in looking like a star.
Yeah.
When in reality, no, they should have given us some time to warm up to her character in AEW, because we know her as Sasha Banks, and she's kind of bringing in like the same attitude as she had in WWE. So to us, it's like,
and it kind of doesn't work.
Person, yeah, but it's not working in AEW. Yeah. I think with a little bit of time, Mercedes will come back and have that moment that she always used to have in WWE as well.
I need them to figure it out in 2 weeks.
You got
2 weeks for All Out. Okay, I need to see who is in the running now. I need Deonna Purrazzo. I think that's what I need at this point. I need Deonna to come in, because I know Deonna's such a technical wrestler, and she will put her in these submission moves. And I think Mercedes does so well in those types of situations. Scott is saying that Britt wasn't ready to wrestle. I, on the contrary, don't think that. People have a lot of feelings against, bad feelings towards Britt, which I'm just like, okay, I think Britt's great. I think Mercedes is great. I think a lot of the women on the roster are great. Like, I don't know.
She's great. I agree with you. I do think she's great as well. I do think there has been a couple of times that I see her in the ring where she does look a little bit hesitant. It could just be me. I'm just a fan. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But there has been a couple of times that I see she just doesn't.
That things sometimes don't work out.
The same, right? She just came back from an injury, a very serious injury,
and a semi-heart attack.
Exactly. I was about to say that's very, very serious. So I don't expect her to be what she used to be right away, but I could see the difference a little bit, and I think that's what people are seeing too much of. That it's not the Britt Baker before she got injured.
Well, my thing is that people are always like, "Well, Britt was never a good wrestler."
Oh, well,
which I'm like, all right, guys, you get in the ring, sir. In your basement. You get in the ring then.
No, yeah, that I have to disagree, okay?
Let's what's this next slide here? Let's see what we got. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. My notes on this.
Yes, best friend. Pull up your notes, please.
My first note, okay, actually not the first one, but I'm like, MJF's ugly ass. The way he came out. I'm not saying MJF is ugly. The way he came out.
Yeah.
With that hat.
That's interesting. First friend, this whole look, I was like, did nobody fix his little hat before he went out there?
The gorra, that's what I'm saying.
I was so irritated because I'm like, if you're gonna,
terrible.
It wasn't even like a good patriotic look. It was like
he went to Party City, got the costume out of the pack, y se lo puso y así. No one fixed it for him.
Like, you know, the mattress stores, when they have their 4th of July sale, they'll put somebody out there.
I try not to laugh. No.
Mind you, MJF is a fool, okay? We know he's a fool. I know he was giggling backstage putting this little getup together.
No, for sure. For sure, his goofy ass.
He was like, oh my God, wait till everyone talks about this tomorrow. And here we are.
Well, here we are talking about it.
Or here we are, sir. Oh my goodness.
I mean, it was funny, especially after Ospreay's very serious Assassin's Creed entrance.
Absolutely, which was incredible.
That was crazy.
I showed that to my brother because I'm like, look, video games.
I don't know. Right. I don't know anything about Assassin's Creed, but I'm like,
I was hyped.
I know all the Assassin's Creed nerds are creaming right now.
Yeah. Insane. What a great entrances for both of them. Again, the entrances of this pay-per-view really were the moment, and especially because they have pyro.
Yes, the pyro
was great because they don't use pyro anymore in Collision or Dynamite. So when Britt comes out on Dynamite and it just goes and then she turns around and she does it again, and I'm like, where's the pyro? It doesn't hit the same. All I'm saying is Ricochet better have pyro. I don't care anybody else.
I didn't notice the pyro, so I'm so funny, but I didn't notice the pyro until Hangman came out. I was like, oh, there's pyro, and then I'm like, wait, there's been pyro.
Yes, it's craziness, but man, what a fantastic match that these guys put on. And did you go into it thinking that Ospreay was going to pick up the win, or did you think MJF was going to keep it? Yeah?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I just couldn't see them having Ospreay lose in front of his crowd.
Yeah.
And then especially he already did lose once. And I just didn't see him losing again. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that they had him win against MJF. It's crazy that they had MJF lose. That is crazy.
And it, like, you know, we've talked about this of like, man, you know, MJF was the wrestler And even though Swerve was the champion, you can't have someone in the company who is literally like one of the best wrestlers of all time and not have him represent the company, like not put a championship on him. And I think the addition of like the MJF kind of being jealous storyline being added to it really like hit me different, because I was like, damn, MJF, you're really salty.
You saw another little side of him come out all of a sudden, like this little soft side.
It was crazy to see, because the moment he was like, you know, what did he say? He's like, they loved me until you came in or something. And I was like, oh my god, they're gonna fight. Man, it was so good. And it's crazy because it really is so easy to like a guy like Will Ospreay, because his character definitely wins you over. The work that he does in the ring is incredible, but you also can't take away from MJF, who is also, like he says, a generational talent, and the work that he's just put in through AEW as one of the pillars. I know people feel a certain type of way about pillars being mentioned, but he is one of the guys that started in AEW, and he is a made man in AEW. And you can say that about a lot of superstars too, who are like the foundation of the company. But this match was fantastic.
Yes, it was. The other thing about MJF is that it takes not everyone can do what MJF does.
Yeah.
Not everyone can stick to being an asshole for this long and really be good at it. You know what I mean? We can say so many things about MJF, you know, but that he's not good at what he does, you can't say that. No one told him on purpose.
They said you can go out just like that.
No, it clearly looked like, obviously they purposely did that to be funny. Like, obviously they're in England.
Let me put this
up. He kept saying US.
Funny, genuinely how funny. But yeah, I mean, final thoughts on this match, was friend?
No, yeah, it was a good match.
Yeah,
very good match.
I agree with you on that one. TNT Championship, Darby Allin versus Jack Perry in a coffin match.
This one I was excited about.
This one is interesting because someone on Twitter, on TikTok, who I follow, I believe they go by like Suplex Media. They were like, oh, I think I would have liked this match if it was a glass coffin. Which I was like, that would have been crazy, because real glass.
The pictures would have been nice.
But also to see Darby, he said, you know, to see Darby Allin in there struggling to get out, or, you know, seeing the liquid being poured like on him and stuff like that would have made a different impact, which I was like, interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
Hopefully, you know, hopefully they do that in the future, because you know what?
We got more time, guys.
The pictures would be very aesthetically pleasing.
Yes.
With a glass coffin.
With the glass one, that would genuinely be insane.
Yeah.
Insane. I'm trying to get, sorry guys, look at this layout. There we go. I'm trying to figure out the layout, guys. But why did Darby Allin come out with them tax run? That's what I was asking.
Oh my goodness, you're so right. I almost forgot about that.
Look at his little face in this kina.
He is crazy.
He looks like he's going through it.
How did I forget about that? When he came out and I saw that, I'm like, this mother F.
I said, Darby, please. Anytime I see Darby on my screen, I get a little bit worried.
I don't. I always want to say, what goes through this man's head? Probably nothing. He's like, I'm here to work.
Holy
shit. He's crazy.
Then said, you guys disappeared.
Never
mind. But you could still hear us though, right? When we disappeared. Just tell us, guys.
My brother just telling us all their thoughts.
All their thoughts. So it seems like this match was cut for time. Interesting that you say that, Scott, because it did seem a little rushed.
Yes. Okay. I really kind of was thinking that too, that I felt like it was rushed.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't see anyone else saying the same on Twitter. I don't know if it was just my Twitter, but
it's like, maybe it was my pacing.
For me, I was like, oh, maybe I was expecting more. I really was expecting more.
Yeah.
Especially from Jack Perry and Darby. I was expecting definitely more time and more craziness.
I also don't like, well, not that we're talking about things that we don't like, but here I am to bring it up. I don't like how this match just came about, of like, in the blood and guts match.
Yeah.
And then Darby was like, you better give me a match. And then the Young Bucks are like, okay.
Yeah.
And then here we are.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know about this.
I think they just wanted to crazy.
Mim
people
said
against
no
each
sound
other.
either. That's crazy. So when they were all up on, interesting. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We live and we learn. Interessante. So let me not pull them full screen again. So thanks, guys. But yeah, interesting. The fact that Darby had handcuffs on him. He was, tied, or his hands were tied, his feet were tied. I think I had Jungle Boy winning going into this. I don't remember, honestly. I really don't.
I don't think I did either. I was just excited to see both of them beat the living out of each other. That's it.
Scott is saying match placement was strange. Would have moved it up a bit. Maybe if we would have started with this,
maybe, right?
I would have been like, okay,
yeah.
I guess I kind of see it. But compared to a lot of the other matches that we had, this maybe would have been a great main event to Dynamite. Would have been a great main event to Collision.
Yeah.
Not Rampage, but
not
Rampage, but definitely one of the other ones.
Yeah.
What did you think about Sting returning? Because I have mixed thoughts about this.
I don't hate it.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like he's literally in action for himself, so I don't hate it.
I was just like not as excited as everyone else was.
Right.
Because I was like, we just saw him. I was like, Sting, you were just at the cookout. I saw you at the baile.
People love Sting.
People love Sting. Absolutely.
Yeah. We saw you at the baile.
We saw you at the baile, sir. And he just had his retirement. I feel like it hasn't been that long since we've seen him.
Yeah.
But I do think that he did deserve a Wembley moment. Absolutely. So the fact that he was able to help Darby one more time, I just don't want them to make a habit out of this. And every 3 months to have Sting come out, because we've seen it happen in WWE. People say they're retired and they're not really retired.
I mean, like I said, as long as he's not in action, then yeah. Because if he all of a sudden starts wrestling again, I'm gonna be like, you know what?
Because like DX gets back together once a year.
Facts.
So it's just kind of like, okay, I get it. I've seen it. 10 out of 10.
Hopefully it was just for our English or British friends to see a couple icons out there, get their little moment.
Get their little something.
Yeah.
Scott is saying Aubrey refed the first 3 matches too.
I didn't notice that.
I did not notice that. I noticed her hair though. She looked good.
Good for her.
Period, Aubrey.
Good for Aubrey.
She got her check. Her money's worth.
She better be.
For that night. Let's talk about my favorite match of the night.
I was gonna say, I didn't watch this. I thought that was
Oh.
Why can't I think of his name right now? I can't think of his name right now, but I'm sorry. I was.
You're like, I did not see this,
but I did see this.
The Casino Gauntlet match for a guaranteed title shot. This match was incredible.
I need to know your thought on
mayhem. First of all, Nigel comes out.
Yes. That's what I wanted to know about.
My God.
I wanted to know how you felt.
I love Nigel McGuinness.
Yes.
Love him. Mind you,
too.
This is the first time I've seen him wrestle.
Right.
I've never seen Nigel wrestle, and I've not done my own research to watch his previous matches in Ring of Honor or anywhere else. For that being said, I've only known Nigel in commentary for NXT and in commentary for AEW and his Magic show. Like that's what I got. And his hatred for Bryan Danielson.
Right.
That's what I got. So the fact that I see him come out and I'm like, there's no way Nigel's here. Mind you, he did an interview with Chris Van Vliet saying that he's been in the ring for months now, that he's been putting in that work. And I believed him. I said, sure, because he's going to fight Bryan Danielson. That's in my mind. I'm like, that's where he's working up to.
Right.
But why would he just go straight to Bryan Danielson when he could fight everybody and their mamas first in this match?
Right.
So when he came out, I was like, okay, Nigel, you look good.
He looks good.
Yeah.
But it was weird to see. It was so weird to see him come out looking like that when you're so used to him in a suit.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, Nigel.
Right? Like,
that's crazy. Man, impossible to pick a winner for this one, says Scott. Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
And I guess this is just such a fun match because there is no set time of when the wrestlers are going to come out. You have to get pinned. It's not over the top rope. And that just adds so much of an element of surprise.
Yes.
It's crazy and
scary.
Yes. And there was just so many surprises in this match. We got to see Zack Sabre Jr., which is another one of my favorites. And Zack was right in front of Nigel. And Nigel was holding his own. But man, it was just so fun to see all these people interact. We got Kyle O'Reilly. We had Mark Briscoe. We had Roderick Strong. Like there were so many people in here.
Right from the beginning, Orange Cassidy, like right from the beginning, this match, star power everywhere. Like
yes,
just a bunch of good wrestlers in there.
Really good wrestlers.
That I did not see the ending coming at all. I did not see that coming at all, because the beginning of this was just wow.
Yeah,
I love it.
And Orange coming out in his dark jeans.
The dark jeans. I love the dark look on Orange.
Yeah.
Hangman comes out, which I know people knew that Hangman was going to be in the gauntlet. But for me, I was like, oh my God, Hangman.
But it was interesting to see like where was he going to be placement wise.
Exactly.
Because you had people like Okada in the ring.
Yes.
Nigel. I love that Nigel has that little thing that I didn't know that's where everyone was getting it. Like they called it a Nigel teeter-totter.
Yeah.
Where he goes out of the ring, but not really. And then he comes back in. And that's one of the things that I love about Kyle, because Kyle does that.
That's what they called it?
That's what they called it. They called it a Nigel teeter-totter. And best friend. Onta, because I was cracking up. Do you see it where?
Kyle O'Reilly
yes. I was like, that's crazy.
Oh my God. Yes. I just want to know. Hangman gets hit with the guitar. Restaurant, the way.
Yes. Restaurant, I'm glad you could see my notes because I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
You have it in capital letters.
I know.
Like, oh my God. Hangman gets hit with the guitar.
Oh, yeah.
No, Restaurant, I was mad.
Really?
I was like, oh, Karen is lucky I was not there. No. What the fuck was I going to do, right? No, that I did not like that hit.
That's crazy.
There was a lot of
grapple pop. That hug. Okada is a menace. For real. Okada makes me laugh.
Okada has been such a
belly laughs.
Breath of fresh air there. Yeah. I don't know why. Like, just his comments sometimes are
he's out of pocket. Definitely out of pocket.
Definitely.
Man.
He's been hanging out with the Young Bucks a little too much, for sure.
Yeah. My youth's teeter-totter. Kyle O'Reilly teeter-totter. Who else has a teeter-totter?
My youths.
Who else? Somebody else has a teeter-totter. I don't know who it was. But then people were like, oh, yeah. That's what Kyle's got a lot of the influence. That's where Kyle got it from. And I said, what? That's crazy. Nigel's influence.
And now they were in the ring
together. And they were in the ring together. Insane.
So cute.
Man. In all caps, are Zack Sabre Jr. All right. Who booked this match for me?
No, for real, because you had Orange out there, you had
Orange
Nigel
out there. Literally my faves.
Sabre Jr. comes
my
out.
faves. Oh, my absolute faves. Oh my goodness. And then I said, I think the Jeff Jarrett music has me traumatized. It really does. I was not expecting Jeff Jarrett in this match.
Me neither. And everyone got so excited. And I was like, I guess.
You said sure.
I don't hate him.
No, absolutely not.
I don't hate him at all. It's just that his little storyline with Hangman, it's like, oh, yeah, he goes back and beats stuff.
And we got to see something confirmed in what the rumors that we had heard was that Ricochet was going to be All Elite. And Ricochet comes out and everybody's like, oh my God. And as they should, because Ricochet is a big deal. He is so incredibly talented. And I think he's going to shine in a place like AEW with the people that they have right now.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I'm excited because when I first learned of Ricochet was a little bit before he signed with WWE. And I was watching, I would see some of his matches with Sergio. And I was like, okay, I like Ricochet. I just wasn't too into his character. He went to WWE, completely lost me. I wasn't really the biggest fan of the work that he was doing there. So I'm really excited to see what the difference is going to be now. Now that I'm more knowledgeable in wrestling as well. Because at the time that I was watching him, I didn't know much. I was still a little ignorant. So I'm excited to see that now. I'm excited to see what we're going to see out of Ricochet and AEW. Because if there's one thing we know is that we're going to see him wrestle.
Like, absolutely.
Wrestle. And I'm excited. I'm excited.
It's going to be crazy. Especially you have guys like Top Flight who can put on bangers, like high flyers. You have Hologram, who's now in the picture, who's really only been on Collision, but that guy is incredible. And, you know, that match that people want is Ricochet and Ospreay.
They have history. So to see that in AEW,
That's right. We're probably going to see Ricochet on Collision in 2 weeks.
You're so right.
Shout out to Ricochet. I'm finally getting my dad his autograph. My dad says that's his boy.
Oh my God,
he loves Ricochet.
I'm excited too.
Loves him.
See some wrestling. Yes, he does.
Let's talk about the ending of this match because people love Luchasaurus.
Okay, he came out as Luchasaurus, which was I was like, okay.
Yes, they didn't call him Kill Switch.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
Which I
it's
thought was
gonna
just me.
happen.
I was like, oh my God. Oh my goodness.
No.
Yeah.
He comes out running and they're like, Luchasaurus. And I'm like, Luchasaurus?
I said, first of all, who's that? You've been trying to con me into calling him Kill Switch for months now.
And now it's Luchasaurus.
And now it's Luchasaurus? Okay.
No, that ending for me, man, I don't know how anyone else felt. That is one thing I did not see anyone's reactions for. I didn't care because my reaction was like, really? I'm not mad. I'm not mad at Christian winning. But that's not what I was expecting.
If anything, we wanted Luchasaurus to win. At that point, I was like, Luchasaurus is gonna get it. Great.
Exactly.
I'm so tired.
I was like, we just could have done this with any other match. Like, why did it have to be this one where we had so many other great people here that could have won it? No, yeah, I was not too happy
for
about
it.
that. And yeah.
You know, I've been disappointed by men, but like I'm not disappointed by dinosaurs. So let's move on to the next match.
Not right now. Oh my goodness.
Moving on to the next one. We're going to talk about the AEW World Tag Team Championship match, FTR versus the Young Bucks versus the Acclaimed. Oh, sorry. Missed that graphic. Sorry, Ricochet. In case anybody was doubtful, Ricochet is now All Elite.
All Elite.
Okay, thank you. All right. I do have notes on this one. Only 2 bullet points because, I mean, this was not one of my favorite matches.
Same.
And I went into it. I thought making it a triple threat match was going to make it more interesting for me. It wasn't my cup of tea. I did like, though, how they had Max Caster help out Matt Jackson. I was going to say Max Jackson. There's a lot of M's in here. But I liked when he helped with that EVP trigger.
Okay.
Like, I was like, interesting because people want something to happen with the Acclaimed, whether it's Max turning heel, which that's I think would be believable, and kind of letting Bowens be the face and then just be kind of singles competitors. I actually think that this could help them into creating a storyline where maybe the Bucks are trying to recruit the Acclaimed and the Acclaimed is like, not really, no thanks, but Max Caster's like, maybe I'll do it. I think that would be cool to see.
Scary.
I think that would be cool to see because people already don't like Max Caster. Yes. People are on the boat of kind of not liking the Bucks, but you can't not like the Bucks.
I mean,
people
cannot like the Bucks. Cry them a fucking river. What are they gonna do about it? It's the Bucks. They're gonna be there forever.
Forever.
They leave.
Cody.
They're gonna pull a Cody.
Oh my God.
We have not moved on.
I'm so sorry, Cody. Trauma.
We have not moved on. This was a match that, I love the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks are my everything. Like, I would fight for them. I love the Young Bucks, but this was the one match that I did not really care for much. And it's because of the Acclaimed.
Yeah.
I could care less about this match because of the Acclaimed. I don't know. There's just something about the Acclaimed that I just never was able to like follow them and like what's been going on.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of it.
Well, something else happened in this match after the Bucks won, which I think I had them or the Acclaimed winning. I didn't have FTR winning.
Yeah.
This match was fine. It's probably on the bottom of my list for me. But I guess what did help was that the Grizzled Young Vets came in.
Yeah,
and I was like, interesting, because I think we do need something to happen within these group divisions, whether it's the tag or the trios division. We need something new. And I guess in the trios, it is getting a little better because you have BCC and PAC, which we'll talk about. But we need some new teams. We need people that are like, I'm so tired of seeing FTR. I'm so sorry. And I love the Young Bucks.
That's how I feel about the Acclaimed.
I feel like with the Acclaimed, I still like the Acclaimed. I like to see them in the ring. That's it. I don't need the raps. I don't need the backstage segments. I love to see Bowens wrestle. I think Bowens is a great wrestler, and I think we don't get to see it enough.
Yeah.
So that's why I think I want them to kind of split up.
Yeah.
So we can kind of see them more. But the Grizzled Young Vets don't have a graphic yet. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be in AEW, but I do think that they would be such a huge help to the division.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I felt that we needed more tag teams just because there has been enough and there hasn't really been any. They haven't really done much with a lot of tag teams. I mean, we had best friends who I feel like they dropped the ball on. Like we're never gonna have best friends.
Now what?
Tag team champions, right? So it's like I'm kind of getting tired of seeing not much happen with tag teams. That when new ones come in, I'm like, well, I mean, I'm not gonna be excited until I see something good happening with the tag team division. It just hasn't been exciting for me.
I feel you on that, man. It's so funny because with the grizzled young vets, for the long time, like sometimes I for the life of me can't remember their name, so I call them the vintage men.
The vintage men.
Yeah. So when they came out, I said the vintage men. They're here. And then I was like, that's not what they're called. What are they called? But forever in my heart, they're going to be the vintage men.
I mean, it doesn't help that grizzled young vets.
Yes, that's why I think it was like grizzled. And I was like, and for me, it was like, okay, like old school. Like, and I was like, vintage. So the vintage young men. That's what they'll
vintage young men.
That's what they'll be. Scott is saying, I think that's why Christian isn't winning the AEW World title because Kill Switchosaurus will finally do the deed on Christian. Man, I don't know. I'm waiting for that turn.
Yeah.
And I know we've been really waiting for a long time because we thought when Christian was yelling at Mama Wayne that Kill Switch was finally going to do something. But then later, Christian gives his title to Mama Wayne and was like, you didn't birth a prodigy.
Yeah.
And like, bro, the disrespect is insane.
That was crazy. That was crazy. And Luchasaurus still comes out here helping him win. No, he's definitely cooking up something crazy, Wrestfriends. He has to be cooking up something crazy because he's been disrespected by Christian way too much. Many times.
Rude.
Way too many times. I know Luchasaurus is gonna come out here. You said you've never been disappointed. I mean, you've always been disappointed by men, never by dinosaurs. I think he's gonna make that up to you, Wrestfriends.
I would hope so.
I really believe so.
Because I love reptiles. I would fucking hope so.
You do.
What a mess. What a mess. Let's move on. Let's talk about this London ladder match for the AEW Trios titles. Yeah. It was the House of Black, Pac, Claudio with Yuta versus the Bang Bang Gang and the Patriarchy. This match was insane. Yeah. Craziness. People were flying everywhere. There was a lot of men, a lot of tables, a lot of chairs, a lot of ladders, which I thought it was funny to look at the tables and see like, oh, those are the type of tables that they use over there in London because they're not the tables that we use here. Yes. And I was like, interesting to see the difference in ladders, you know? So it's really the little things for me. But man, was I excited when Pat got up there and got those titles because I didn't think it was going to be them, Wrestfriends.
Yeah, me neither.
I was happily surprised. I'm not mad at it. I love the BCC when they have their belts. And I think Pac really shines as a singles competitor, absolutely. But I think in trios, he does his best work. Yes. Triángulo de la Muerte was one of our fave trios. I don't know what happened, but it's okay. You know, he got his moment at Wembley in front of his crowd. I think it was fantastic. I think they are going to be so violent. I'm so scared.
Absolutely. Okay. I mean, I feel like this is like your regular group of friends, your regular trio group of friends.
Yeah.
There's always the like really like mean one, I guess, the one that stands up to everybody. And then there's the serious one that you also wouldn't fuck with. Mm-hmm. And then Yuta, you know, the one that's just like
there. Happy to be there. But like, who can also throw down if he wants to. But he won't. He tries his words first. I think that's what it is.
He probably reads people first, just takes everything in and then just does the work.
He picks and chooses his battles for sure.
Yeah.
Man. Claudio said in a tweet, he was just said what? He said adding titles to trophies. Shout out to him because he just won a tournament in Mexico, I believe, right? In CMLL. Yeah. Man, people are accomplished.
So I just said there was lots of tiny ladders.
There was. Okay, it was so funny because at one point, Yuta set up a ladder and I was like, what is going on here? That ladder is like maybe 5 inches taller than him.
No, that was funny.
And
he brought that up.
But then there was one ladder that was like really, really tall. And I'm like, why aren't they all like this? And I get it. Here sometimes we have the small ladders, but it doesn't look like that on TV. So I was like, maybe the titles are a little low. So I was just trying to find the possibilities. But I'm like, this is interesting. The fact that I'm paying attention to the types of the ladders and the chairs were fine, but like the tables too, because there was a moment I was cracking up because Mama Wayne was spraying everybody. She sprayed Yuta in the face, which I'm like, disrespectful, first of all. And I was like, what is going on? Because she sprayed him with hairspray or with some type of mace.
Oh
I
my
don't
God,
know
I
what
don't
it was.
remember that.
Yeah, she sprayed him in the face. And then she goes over to Juice to try to do the same thing. Christian grabs a chair, puts it in front of Juice, takes him over to the ropes where Mama Wayne was ready, and she sprays the chair. Juice takes the spray, sprays her, and it looks like he's gonna put her through the table.
That's what happened.
Yes.
Okay.
He looks like he's gonna put her through the table, and somebody else comes up, and that doesn't end up happening. So Juice throws himself to land on the table, but the table doesn't break.
Yeah.
So he just goes plop, and then he falls off. And I'm like, I know that hurts so much, but you saw that Juice like threw himself with some force to try to like break the table. And that's just unfortunate. I was like, oh, I felt so bad.
No, like, can you imagine? Like, things like that happen, and we think about their poor bodies.
Yes.
But do we really think that when the tables actually break? I can't imagine what their bodies go through like that. You're right. Like noticing that impact that he tried to really
try
have
to
on that
make.
table.
Yeah.
It's
right. Crazy.
That is crazy.
The Guns also had a great showing in this match, the Guns with Juice. And there was a moment where I think it was, maybe the House of Black. I don't remember who, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but they were on them. They were both at the top of the ladder. They were piggybacked on these guys, and they were like, all right, guns up. And then they both threw themselves down. They both went through the tables, and man, just some fantastic moments. Nick Wayne had a great moment too, where he put Brody King through a table too. Man, insane stuff.
Yeah, no, that I agree, Wrestfriends. Yeah, I this is one of those matches where even though there was so many, sometimes there's matches where there's so many people and there's so much going on that you're not enjoying it as much. Not this.
No, there
was going on, but great. It was great.
Yeah. And even watching it back, I always think you should watch back a pay-per-view, watch back a match, because there are things that you miss. I watched back that casino battle royal and this tag match, this trios match, and Taz on commentary, he had me cracking up because when he saw Nigel come out, he's like, wait a minute, I just realized, am I gonna have to do commentary for Collision? And I totally missed that the first time, and I'm like, that is so funny. Like Taz cracks me up.
Yeah, no, Taz is good on commentary. Yeah.
But yeah, like a match like this is one that you can definitely watch back, and you're gonna be like, man, that was crazy.
Yes, especially the outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because Mama Wayne was involved, there's kind of rumors. I saw Julia was on a plane, and I was like, oh my God, is Julia gonna show up? And they're gonna be the House of Black again, fully formed with Julia.
Okay.
That did not happen, of course. Right. But I was like, man, I hope Julia's getting a speedy recovery because I miss her. I need to see what's gonna happen with her. And I just want to know what's gonna happen with the House of Black. You know, I feel like they kind of got set to the back for a little bit. But this trios division showed up and showed out for this match.
Yeah. I hope we continue having moments like this for the trios.
Yeah.
Because again, very disappointed with tag teams, but for the trios, this match made me feel like, okay, we can continue this.
Yeah.
Because there are so many great trios as well. I mean, the Bang Bang Gang alone, I mean, no, yeah, Wrestfriends.
Yep, guns up. Let's move on to the FTW Championship match. We got to see Hook versus Chris Jericho, and this was an FTW rules, of course. So we saw Big Bill was involved.
Sorry, I didn't watch. This is the match I didn't watch. Not because I didn't want to. Yes. I just didn't want it. I didn't want to.
Brian was involved. Is that his name? The other one in the FTW crew with Jericho.
I don't know his name.
Oh my God. Somebody put in the comments. Oh man.
Someone save us.
This match, it was all right for me. Same thing.
Yeah.
So the learning tree was okay. There is actually a learning tree thing. I'm so sure right now. I'm so sure. Do you guys hear me typing out?
I love that sound.
The little typing.
Yes.
What? Someone said, what is the learning tree in Jericho?
Keith. Sorry.
Oh, yes. Brian Keith. Yes. So, man, Craziness. It's just, it was fine. I did like when Taz got involved. I've been waiting for Taz to get involved. I actually want Taz just to fight Jericho.
Yeah. Okay. You want to see Taz back in action?
Yeah,
Is that possible? Wrestfriends? Can Taz get back in the ring?
I don't know if Taz is injured or anything. Like, what's
right?
I mean, I'm sure he can. He got involved with Brian here for a hot second,
Right.
but I know it wasn't too physical.
Right.
Yeah. What did you think about Hook pulling out this win?
Great.
Much needed. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Did I watch the match? No, but thank you, Hook. Thank you, Hook.
Said there was a wrestler to actually retire. It's that guy.
Like, look, if they talk in AEW, they talk.
No, Taz can't. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I
kind of felt.
Yeah, me too. I felt like I've heard that before, but I couldn't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when it comes to Jericho, I know there's some people that really love him, and they say that he's great in wrestling, and like he does so many good things for AEW, and it's like, okay, good, keep him back there. How many times does he have to come out here for them to try and convince us to like him? A lot of us don't care. That is the one person I will say it on here on Wrestfriends. I don't give a shit. I don't care to see him out there.
I like Jeff Jarrett more.
Absolutely. Bring us up, Jeff. Bring us.
You know what? Bring the song back. Bring the song back one more time.
You know what? Bring another guitar.
Just come on.
You know
bring
what?
it on.
I'll
Where's Karen? Bring her out too.
About what you did.
Man, I just think that championship is a Hook title.
Yeah.
If anyone else holds that championship, I mean, shout out to Ricky Starks, but them two, that's it. Right, okay. Right. Everyone else, why? Yeah. I just don't see the reason to. So it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me.
I think it makes sense for a guy like Hook, and like you said, even Ricky Starks, to just hold on to that title.
Yeah.
Forever, I guess. It just looks good on them. They don't have to say anything. Hook is the type of guy that clearly he doesn't have to grab the mic and say anything.
Yeah.
He can just hold on to that thing forever. It's his dad's. His dad clearly is proud of him holding it. So yeah.
Let's see. Rewind 89 says Taz has done more for professional wrestling than any other wrestler in the history of the business. Taz is a living legend, probably the only real GOAT in the business. Put some respect on him, fam. We're talking about Chris Jericho.
We're talking about Chris Jericho, dude. We are not talking about Taz.
We're not talking about Taz. We love Taz. Taz is great. We just wanted to know if Taz could get in the ring to fight Jericho.
Yeah.
And we were answered. So that's what we got to say about that. But yeah, man, Hook and Taz having that moment at the end, I was like, oh man, like that's so sweet, because it is nice to see sometimes how Taz, does talk about things on commentary when Hook is in the ring. So he'd be like, oh, like that's new, or he sounds so proud.
Yeah, so I'm really glad that we got that little moment.
Yes, it's crazy. Yeah, someone said, are you putting in that work on Collision, the Collision post show? Watch it on Fightful.
You were a Collision Wrestfriend.
Crazy.
Yes, you are Wrestfriend.
Craziness. Yeah, I mean, Wrestfriend, final thoughts on the pay-per-view and its totality. And guys, too, in the comments, what are your final thoughts on All In? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What was your favorite match? What was your least favorite match? I want to ask you, what's your favorite match and your least favorite match of the show?
Okay. That's a little hard. I'm gonna say my favorite match was the main event.
Okay.
Swerve against Danielson.
That's great.
Again, that win, that momentum, beautiful. I got emotional, so that was beautiful. Least favorite. That's a little bit hard. I'm gonna go with the tag team match, because I really didn't enjoy
the triple threat one.
Yeah. Yes, I didn't enjoy it. And then I didn't like the outcome of the gauntlet.
Well, I'm gonna say that's my favorite match. I'm gonna say the Casino Gauntlet one, just because there was so many surprises, but I did really like that the 4-way, the ladders match.
Okay, yeah,
that was
you're
great.
Right. Okay.
My least favorite match would probably have to be that triple threat with the Bucks and the Acclaimed and FTR. Just because maybe it could have been a Dynamite, could have been a Collision. Yeah, it wasn't enough hype for it. And at that point, you could have gotten rid of that match and given maybe more time to the coffin match.
Yeah.
More time to, I guess, any other match, really.
Yeah. So. I'm not even a fan of the Beatles to have gotten excited with the Bucks entrance. I love everything like Bucks do, but then they come out with like this Beatles thing, and I'm like, I'm not even a fan of them.
He said, I didn't even like the Beatles.
I didn't. I don't. So
I am cackling.
there wasn't much about that match that I was excited about, besides the fact that I was gonna see the Young Bucks in action. That is all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, those are our thoughts on All In. And if you thought we were done talking, we're not.
Oh, there's more slides.
We have more slides. Absolutely. Let's take a comment from Scott George. He says, good show. Give it an 8. Tony Storm versus Mariah May was my favorite. Absolutely great match. I'm probably going to go back and watch that. And I know, guys, we didn't talk about the 0 Hour. Personally, I did not watch 0 Hour, but I am going to watch it today. I heard the Chris Statlander and Willow. Also, Jamie Hayter made a return, let's talk about that really quick.
My man was waiting for me to bring that up.
Call him right now.
Why was I this morning? Like, I forgot what I was saying about Hangman, right? And I was like, oh my God, Hangman. And then he's like, oh yeah, Hayter's back. And I'm like,
okay.
Okay.
Man, Jamie Hayter, I'm so excited. I actually thought that she was going to come in and help Britt Baker.
Yeah.
With because we saw that Camille got involved. We didn't even talk about Camille during that match. And also Britt pulling the Eddie Guerrero move when Mercedes is the one who really like loves Eddie. She's always talking about it. Insane stuff.
I would have felt so disrespected.
Honestly,
that personal.
I would have been like, how dare you? Yes. Which also, I know we're going to fly in a lot of directions, guys, so bear with us. I don't know if you've heard that there was like a Hulk Hogan documentary that was supposed to be made, like a movie, and they scrapped it, and people are like, give us the biopic that we really want. And it's an Eddie Guerrero biopic, and Eddie would be played by Pedro Pascal. Yeah. Oh my God, Wrestfriends, when I saw that side by side, I was like, that is perfect. How would you feel about that? Because I know you love Eddie.
Oh my God. I love Eddie and I love Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I'm all for it. Please give it to us. Please.
It's crazy. Oh my goodness. I think that would be the one to watch. I haven't watched the Iron Claw yet. So sorry, guys.
Me neither.
It's on my list. First one, we should watch it together.
Let's watch it together.
We should cry together.
I was literally just telling my sisters that little nasty bothering. I was literally just telling my sisters that I think I've only watched one A24 movie, and that's all. So we need to watch that movie.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say about that? Oh, what cracked me up about the whole Hulk Hogan biopic thing was that they wanted Chris Hemsworth. That best friend. That I was like, I cannot. Next.
First of all, have you guys seen Chris Hemsworth?
No, like what?
That's crazy. Anyway, give us the Eddie Guerrero biopic with Pedro Pascal. I'm sure he would more than love to do a movie based on the life of Eddie.
Especially I'm sure Pedro Pascal would love to play a Latino. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Oh, I would so love that.
Tiff says Pedro's Eddie's going to get the girlies in the theater like Iron Claw did. Yes, for Zach. Yeah, I mean, Zach, I've heard he did a fantastic job. So, man, craziness. What else? Oh, Jamie, back to Jamie Hayter. So sorry, Jamie. Yeah, I thought she was going to go help Britt. It was interesting that she made her return on the pre-show and not the actual show. What did you think about that choice? Because a lot of people don't watch the pre-show.
Yeah, I know. I didn't watch the pre-show, so I didn't know until Sergio told me. I thought she came out in the main event. I mean, in the main show. Yeah. And so she's like, no, she came out in the pre-show, and I'm like, oh,
yeah,
oh,
interessante.
She's been gone for so long.
She came out with orange hair. She looked beautiful. Fantastic. Oh my
gorgeous. God. But I think everyone has been missing her, and everyone has been talking about how they couldn't wait for her return and they bring her back in the pre-show. I thought that was a little crazy, but I am happy that she's back.
I want to see her at Dynamite. Let's see her. I want her to be in front of us on Collision.
Yeah.
Or at the show and All Out. I wonder, like, what is she gonna do?
Yeah.
She's got so much to do now. Yeah. It's a different roster than it was when she left. So interessante.
Right. Like, are they gonna continue where she left off? Mm-hmm. Are we going to pretend like all of that didn't happen? What's going to happen?
Yeah. Craziness. Okay. Moving on from All In, we are going to talk about, we haven't been on with you guys for a while, but we went to Lollapalooza, which is a music festival here in Chicago. And we had a great time. I went on a Thursday. Teddy, you went on a Friday. And man, it was just a crazy experience. And there's an artist by the name of Chapel Roan. And I want to talk about that for a little bit. So Chapel is known as like the Midwest Princess. She's got a great album. I am a very new Chapel Roan fan, But I was very excited to go and see her. I dragged my brother. I taught him the hot to go dance. If you don't know Chapel, she's got that famous like HOTTOGO song. And I taught him the little dance, because I was like, you're not going to embarrass me in front of the Chapel crowd. So we went, and Lala said it's one of the biggest crowds that they've had for that time at that stage. Like it was literally like 4:00 in the afternoon. We were like this, Wrestfriend, next to the people.
I bet.
Insane. But I was very excited to see Chapel, because I'm like, oh my God, like I'm a new fan. And it's crazy. It's rare that like you get into an artist and next thing you get to go see them in person. So she comes out, and there's just this big sign that says Chapel. And I couldn't see, but under the bottom it said Chapel Wrestling. And I'm like, that is so freaking cool. Because every time she comes out in like a different persona, a different mood. And I just thought that I was like, duh, she might have done her research. It made sense that she came out as a wrestler in Chicago, which is very much a wrestling town.
Yeah.
She could have chosen any sport, whether it been basketball, baseball, maybe something Cubs related. But no, she did Chapel Wrestling. And she also had bodybuilders on the stage the whole time for her performance. And she came out in a lucha mask. It was iconic, Wrestfriend.
No, awesome as fuck. I don't know anything about her. I know she does music.
Yes.
I know people love her because she's a sweetheart. I know people love her. But when I saw that, I was like, holy shit. It makes you feel proud as a wrestling fan.
Yes.
Especially after seeing the picture of the crowd.
It was crazy. It was so cool to see. Her drummer was inside of a wrestling ring. Like I said, there was bodybuilders working out everywhere. She came out in the mask. She had a custom belt made that was like all leather, and the championship was a star. And I'm like, that is so cute. She looked like she was ready to get in the ring and fight. And I'm like, period.
She looked like that show you wanted me to watch.
Oh my God, Glow.
Yes.
Wrestfriend, you have to watch Glow.
I still haven't watched it.
Wrestfriend, watch one episode today. It's so fucking good. So fucking good.
Let me put it on my list.
Like honestly,
because I do forget.
It's so fucking good. And I want to say John Morrison, Johnny TV. He helped train a lot of the women on the show, and he's also in the show. And I think Carlito's in the show too. So it's just really, really cool.
Okay.
And man, just really, really awesome festival. I got so many videos. And I had a great time. So that was my Thursday experience. Oh, and then we went to go see Meg the Stallion.
Right, you saw Meg. I was telling you before you started this that first of all, you're iconic for being there for the Chapel wrestling. Yeah. Like I said, that crowd. Like it feels so good when you are proud of something so iconic like that, right? But yes, I totally forgot that you got to see Meg. I was sad that I didn't get to see Meg. I don't even listen to her music like that, but I like her. And when you're like, oh, I'm going Thursday, I was like, wow, she's going to see Meg the Stallion. How was that?
She was so beautiful and it was amazing. And the only complaint that I would have, like I was close, but people are just like, we're like sardines packed in there. Yeah. I don't know how people do festivals 4 days. With my aging body, I cannot do it anymore.
Yeah.
I was exhausted that time because after Chapel, we were supposed to go see Kesha and then have an hour before Meg. And that didn't happen because we stood all for Chapel's set. And then Kesha started immediately afterwards in a stage right behind her. So we turned, we tried to go get water. And then we got water and we're like, you know what? We're close already. Let's just not see Kesha. We can still hear her. And let's get closer to the stage to try to get really close to Meg. And there was another performance before Meg, so we couldn't sit there. We stood for that performance. And then we're like, okay, we'll sit down afterwards. There's an hour before that. And Meg still didn't sit down because nobody sat down. Where everybody was like, oh, it's only an hour till Meg. So we stood for 4 to 5 hours in just that time session when Chapel was there. And I'm just like, I don't know how people do this. Because we had already been standing all day.
Yeah.
Besides that, like,
what stage was Chapel in? Do you remember?
The T-Mobile stage.
Oh, okay. And Meg was in the Bud Light?
No, same thing.
Oh, same one.
Yeah, so
that's what you were saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to put everything together.
So basically, yeah.
So no wonder you stood there for so long.
The T-Mobile was right there. So Chapel was here and Kesha was at that little side stage right there.
Side one.
Yep. So we're like, oh, okay, we'll just turn around and then we'll just go back. It was craziness.
No, yeah.
But you were there Friday and you got to see Stray Kids. Talk to me about that.
It was my first Lala. Only for them, literally. I keep telling everybody, I always said not my whole life, but I always said like I could die without even having to put a foot in Lollapalooza. Yeah. Because Lollapalooza is a huge thing here in Chicago. We all know about it, even if we don't attend. And I was like, no, absolutely not. I do not need to be in there. Stray Kids announced that they're gonna be there, and I'm like, well, it looks like I'm going to my first Lala. And I did. The Lala experience, I'm too old for, I feel. I was going in there not I didn't know what to expect. You had told me a lot about it, but you told me nice things. You're like, okay, restaurant, you got your G plus ticket, ticket. You're gonna be good. You're gonna have a lounge. You're gonna be good, right? So I was like, we're gonna be good, but I also didn't know what to expect. I didn't expect that many people.
There was a lot of people.
There were so many things that I was like, holy shit. It was hot, obviously. But I had a good time. I had a good time. I got my little merch. I got food. I got drinks. And our whole focus the entire day was just like, we want a good spot as well in the crowd.
Yeah.
So we didn't see any other acts besides LeVay, who pronounce her name, who performed before Stray Kids.
Yeah.
So just like you, so we got in the crowd when Sexy Red was finishing her set, because Sexy Red was on the same stage as them. So Sexy Red was finishing her set, and that's when we were starting to walk into the crowd. So it was a little bit hard because people are leaving the crowd and you're trying to get in.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're like, this is how we have to get a good spot.
Yeah.
And we did. We got a good spot. But let me tell you, literally the moment we got to our spot in the crowd, my feet were done.
That's it. Yep.
My feet were done. And I knew it because I was wearing new shoes. I was wearing new boots. These are like kind of like little combat boots type. I didn't break them in. I knew I should have, but I didn't. And yeah, by the time we got to the crowd, my feet were fucking done. And this was, again, Sexy Red was finishing her set.
Yeah.
So we still waited about 45 minutes to an hour for LeVay to come out.
Yeah.
And then LeVay does her performance, and that's like 45 minutes. And then we waited like another 45 minutes to an hour for Stray Kids to come out.
That's
and
crazy.
At this point, my feet were seriously, when I say done, they were like beyond done. I was in so much pain. The Stray Kids came out and I forgot about everything, to be honest with you. It was beautiful. It was really nice. I'm so huge on music. I love music so fucking much. And to me, just being in the crowd while my favorites were performing was everything for me. But I did get to see them, and that was really nice. It was really, really cool. I don't want to do it again. I never want to go to Lala again, but I would do it like 10 more times for them.
It's crazy because this time around, like, Lala was so exhausting. It wasn't like the first, like last year. And I guess it's because like it was definitely the crowd. There was way more people.
So many people.
And I guess because we were like trying to be in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Last year we were kind of like, for Kendrick, when Kendrick headlined, we were not in the crowd.
Right.
We were in the hill sitting down through the whole performance. We had our drinks, we were chill. And that's kind of how it was for like most of the time. So I feel like I would go back and just like
do that,
sit behind and just like, I'll be like, oh, okay, like I can still hear the music. I see the screens. I don't need to be in the crowd because I want to sit, want to be able to move around. And it does get hot. And the amount of people that were being pulled out of the sets because they were dehydrated. There was a lot of people having panic attacks. And people who had been there for a while, they're just like, I can't do this anymore. And they would leave. So it's crazy, especially because it's such a huge crowd.
It is
such a huge crowd.
It's hot. No, it is so true. While we were there too, there were so many people that needed medical help. And I mean, I had a moment where, I mean, I've been to so many concerts. So I used to do Warped Tour.
Yeah.
I've been in crazy crowds. I've been in the middle of a mosh pit when I didn't want to be in the middle of a mosh pit. My dumbass just didn't move. And I've been fine. I've been in a wall of death. I've actually been in a wall of death.
Yeah.
But being in that crowd, there was a couple times where I was like, oh, I feel like I'm gonna panic.
Yeah.
And it was like the thought of my
feet
are
just
hurting.
Like you look around and then there's nowhere to move, and then my thighs were cramping.
Yes, like I said, my feet were done. So it was the thought of like I was in so much pain.
Yeah.
And then how close together we were. There was times where I just felt a little claustrophobic, and I was like, I'm gonna panic. And I literally had to talk to myself in my head. I was like, you've done this before so many times. You're gonna be fine. Thankfully, I was. But it's so crazy to see how many people end up not making it.
Yeah.
Like
not staying through the whole set because there's so much that goes on. But man, craziness, Wrestfriends. And then afterwards, I was like, I get why people pay so much money for the concerts, to enjoy a seat, to enjoy air conditioning. I understand.
I know. I honestly, though, to me, was the performance worth it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Stray Kids delivered. That was beautiful. Like I said, I would not want to do that ever again. Ever again. But I would do it for them again.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Craziness. Well, if you guys have stayed this long, we'll get one more message before. Mim says the problem is crowds want to get close. Yes. The best camera shot. It's not about the experience anymore. Absolutely. during Meg, I talked about this in the group chat, but there's 2 guys, and they kept like turning around and being like, "Oh, that's my friend over there, girl. Come over here, come over here." And I said, "No, that's not how this works. We've all been here for fucking 3 hours. You can't call people forward. Crowd etiquette is what I think people need to learn. Everybody's very entitled now when they go to concerts. If you're not there, you're not there.
Yeah.
That's why these people rush to the gates at 8 a.m, the first day of the festival, because they want to be there for the headliner. And if you're not there, you're not there. That's just how it is.
Which, I'm not going to lie to you, though, it's very different from the experience that I had growing up
Yeah.
in the alternative scene. I'm going to call it that way because it's, different rock. But back then, I sound so old. Back then, when I used to go to all these shows, it was a thing to walk in the crowd and try to find your spot, like go through people.
Yeah.
As long as people were okay with it, though.
Yeah.
No one was like,
if nobody was,
and didn't want you to go through.
No,
that's
everybody
different.
was not moving.
But nowadays, I see it. Nowadays, we are like that. You have to be like that in the crowd because there is a lot of people that are gonna be like, "You're right." It happened around us too, where they want to bring someone and everyone.
And you're just like, you can't move.
No,
There's
you're not going to. But yeah, like I said, back then in the shows that I used to go to, that was a thing. We used to walk through the crowd and squeeze through to get the best
in the areas where you could. Absolutely.
But it is also different type of crowds. That's one thing that I've noticed. Depending on the music, the crowds are very different.
Yeah.
Some crowds are just very rude. But back to what my sister's saying, that is so very true. Because to me now, I see 2 types of people. There's the type of obnoxious people that have their hands up all the time with their cameras recording.
Yeah.
And then there's the people, and then there's some of them that they don't want you to enjoy the show. I see it on TikTok so much. People are like, these girls in front of me were so rude. They kept getting up and they were like moving their hands around and dancing. And I'm like, that's what the show's are for.
Yeah.
You go and you have fun. If you're just going to buy your ticket and sit down, that's on you, bro.
Yeah.
But you let people have fun.
Have their moment at the show.
But also, if you're going to be there blocking everyone's view because of your phone, you're also wrong.
Yeah.
Like, put your freaking phone down and enjoy the show. Record what you got to record.
And then move on.
Be mindful of everyone else, too.
It's like people want to go.
Show.
People want to go Facebook Live the whole show.
Yes. And people are like,
watch it on Hulu.
People are like, well, I paid my ticket. And if I want to record the show so that I can go look back on it, then I know damn fucking well you guys are not enjoying the show at that moment.
Yeah.
I know damn well you guys are not enjoying the show at the moment if all you're doing is getting videos for you to watch later.
Yeah.
Like, you should have stayed at home and watched it live on Hulu.
And then you could have watched it a million times.
A million fucking
and not
times.
Have to be there.
Exactly. And not ruin everyone else's experience because you want to record. That is a huge issue now. I don't care if I sound like a boomer, but I hate people that all they do is record.
Period. And with that final statement,
this is where it ends.
This is where our stream ends. Thank you guys so much for being literally almost an hour and a half with us. We absolutely appreciate it. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel in case you haven't subscribed yet. We have a really, really cool stuff on here. We have vlogs. We're about to make more content because we are going to vlog when we go to Collision, when we go to All Out. We are going to do a post show, maybe a pre-show. Who knows? We're going to have content up there. Okay. Check out the interviews that we have right now. Interviewed Shawn Michaels. Great conversation with him. Wrestfriend, who would have thought Wrestfriend?
No,
in our whole lives,
Wrestfriend. I have a list
our whole
of people
lives.
that I know you are going to interview
That's
one
crazy,
day.
Wrestfriend.
But Shawn Michaels,
that's crazy.
Definitely didn't think it was gonna happen yet, Wrestfriend. That's crazy.
Insane. So yeah, definitely check that out. And we also, if you can't watch us when we stream live, listen to the podcast form, which is also available on YouTube, just the audio, or literally anywhere that we have our pods at. So
yeah.
And also Instagram. Follow us on that.
Yeah, you guys already know our Twitter and our Instagram bios have our links. So that's where you'll find our podcast. Wherever you want to listen to our podcast, the link is
anywhere.
On there.
Yes. And just also follow us on TikTok. We also make a lot of TikTok content. So that's at Wrestfriends, guys.
She's so humble. I don't make any TikTok, guys.
Follow us.
Edie makes a lot of TikToks,
everywhere,
follow
guys.
us. Follow us and watch Edie.
Follow us all the time, guys. Alrighty. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Thanks so much.